Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. It is April 26th, 2025, and the time is 8:01 a.m. Got a few messages for you. So there's something about the element. And at first I was reminded of that Bruce, whatever his name is, Bruce Willis movie of that. Wasn't that The Fifth Element or something? Yeah, so they're talking about the element, which is an aspect of something abstract, especially one that is essential, cannot be chemically broken down into simpler substances. Each element is distinguished by its atomic number. For example, the number of protons in the nuclei of its atoms. It's a basic part of the whole, a part of something. So minerals and organic compounds that contribute to the proper function and structure of the body. Just a couple days ago, I had vision of a house. I was inside the house. This is the temple of the body, which houses the soul. These beings, these squatters, have been in the people. The gates have been opened through alcohol or injections or something. They have opened the gates of the body, which allow these spirits or other entities to get inside, to drive the mind into thoughts of, negative self-talk and other harmful things. But in this house, they had torn the sheetrock off the walls. They had taken everything and then left all their trash in there. The attic ladder that went up into the mind, it was missing 3 rungs, and it had been traveled up and down so far that the joints of the ladder were weak, barely functional. And up in the attic, there was all kinds of dirty dishes, like they had been having a party in the mind of the collective. Micro, macro, take it as it resonates. I know many of you have had some very significant challenges, and you are stable. Regardless of what they have done to your house, you are stable. These elements, you are it's like a sky heaven represented by spirit and creative energy. So your spirit and your creative energy inside this temple, connected to heaven, to the divine, these ones have ravaged. They have done their very best to to break it, to chemically break it. So they've introduced drugs, alcohol, and they have tried to chemically break this connection through addictions and other things, synthetic medicines and whatnot. These injections that are meant to help people, they've tried to chemically break this down. They were not able to separate you from the divine. So as much damage as they have done to your outer and inner temple that houses your spirit and soul connected to heaven, they could not separate you from the divine, from the Most High, Mother, Father, God, creators of all things. A younger masculine said to another, "She caught me." So they're sending the youth out to do nefarious deeds in the astral realm. They're hoping that you won't catch them or be aware of what they are doing in this space and place of your dreams and other things. So it's really odd that they've got these potential buyers, these misogynist, narcissistic masculines, having discussions about purchasing human beings. And they're complaining about plant medicine. They say it's illegal. Yet they are out here buying and selling human beings. And it's the weirdest, twisted mindset ever. See, they tried to chemically separate you from the heavens through synthetic medicines, injections, and illegal and legal drug substances. And they were not able to do it. They thought that they would be able to do it. They thought it was the clever plan and that it would work, but it didn't. And yet they hate plant medicine because plant medicine actually heals. It gets in and it activates the receptors of the body. It soothes and heals the wounds created by these chemical obnoxious attacks against the system. And they have made it illegal. They want to make all of the plant medicine illegal. They want to vilify it and, just burn it up and unalive you if you use it. These ones are being told that everything they say is heard. And that's because he is walking with we now. And he can get into anyone he wants, just like these ones. They've been hacking and getting into the minds and the bodies of the people, creating thoughts of suffering and using their magic. They've been creating circumstances of suffering, like car accident magic, like, physical attack, ambush magic, all of this stuff. They've been really laying it on. We've already said that. One of them said they are being coached on how to get one over on or gain access to or approval from someone or someone's. And they've already tried many of these things and they're failing. Drowned, someone said, as though somebody they know has. This curator of vital force vitality, the self-replicating batteries called human beings, is talking to like a big burly sounding masculine, like an Anunnaki or an orc or a man's or whatever this thing is. And they're saying, she's the strongest woman, he's the strongest man. Now, they're not what they need, but it's what's available. And many months ago, Spirit Divine told me that these ones planned on unaliving or sacrificing the strongest man and then using his strongest female in their repopulation agenda and genetic research and experimentation program. So again, these ones are talking about transport of the spirit, essence, and soul into another vessel. They have technology that can latch onto a frequency of a spirit soul and then pull it out like Ghostbusters, like the Ghostbusters movie. And then put it where they will. They've also been talking recently about a particle event, which is a strategically occurring event, which sort of, I guess it would be like, I'm thinking of Star Trek. You know how they step on those transporters and then their body kind of breaks up into little particles and then they appear somewhere else. It's kind of like that. So somebody is the keeper of ... and they are also a teacher. So someone has sacred wisdom. I wish I could have heard what they were saying, but the divine only lets me hear so much because I feel that not only they're taking me through this very slowly, but they know that I'm going to be telling everybody. So they're taking us all through this very slowly, giving us what we need as we need it. For proper alignment, it takes time for an understanding to develop. So anyway, somebody out there is a keeper of dot, 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 and they are a teacher. So they have sacred wisdom and are sharing it with the people. And these curators of these self-replicating batteries really, really hate this, because there's an awareness and a rising, a lifting of understanding. Yeah. So these who buy and sell self-replicating batteries called human beings are really upset about this, because you're coming into a knowing of what it is they're doing. Somebody said Blitzy-Blitz, which is military, a swift and overwhelming attack, typically using air and ground forces. They're saying that she is a celestial being, a divine entity, spirit, supernatural, associated with the heavens, sky, or universe. There's something about Vegas, which is a messenger of light, a judge of heaven, a weaving girl, a swooping eagle, a harp star, referring to the constellation Lyra. So she could be Lyrian. She's a celestial judge of heaven. And they came after this one, tore her house apart, chemically tried to separate her from the stars, from her divine family, did everything they could to tear apart this connection and her world, inner and outer. And now they're under judgment because she's connected to the heavens of the universe. A swooping eagle. A weaving girl. And they've been messing with her fabric, her universal fabric. And now they're being greeted by the judge of heaven, and perhaps she is. So these jackwagons are talking about telepathy. Now, those who abuse this space, this mental field that we share, I believe, are chipped and connected artificially. They've been tapping into everyone's sacred connection with the divine, stealing communications, intellectual properties, messages, claiming it as their own, while they implant suffering into the receiver, the transmitter receiver, which is the organic human mind and the temple that houses a soul that's divinely connected to the heavens. So they've been tampering with the intellectual property of the transmitter receiver. You're connected to the heavens, and your task is to bring that here into this 3D experience. And these ones have been hacking the minds of the people and downloading war subliminally. Now you've got the television showing you all this bombs and gunfire and war and fighting and this kind of crap. They've been downloading or uploading war and the entertainment of it into the organic human's mind, while trying to chemically sever them from the heavens and take their position. The Most High and the entire family are here cleaning this crap up. They are working in the attic, in the minds of the people, in the collective field that we all share, cleaning it up, this mess that these squatters have been making, and kicking them out. It seems they are shutting down these falsely connected, chipped interferers. Someone in their camp called him the silencer. So access is being denied. Chips are being deactivated. And the divine are super ninjas. They're stealth, silent, and yet they're completely here. It's like, how the sky is blue And yet right in front of you, you can't see the blue of it. So it's clearly present, and yet it's also invisible. That's what the divine is like. There are many things like that, where you know that it's here. You can see it playing, but when you get it up close, you can't see it. It's like it disappears. They're super ninjas, super divine, stealthy ninjas. And it's just the way that it works. So their communications are different. They're not abrasive. They're not like sandpaper in the mind, you know, like these squatters. They get in there and they're like, you bitch, you whore, you're not worth nothing, you're ugly, you're fat, you know. And then they try to get in there and they get into the minds of the people, and then they cause arguments at work. They cause people to lose their jobs. They cause families to have arguments. They get into the dream space or the astral space with somebody wearing a mask, pretending to be your wife or husband, having an affair or relations with somebody else. And then you wake up and you're mad. I had a dream you cheated on me, and that causes friction in the union. And this is what these ones have been doing. Many divorces are because they send in these kinds of astral experiences, and then they bring in the Jezebel in the 3D space or the gigolo, and they make it happen. It's magic, glamour. So the divine, they communicate in song, in pictograph, many images, and it's an easy flow that doesn't appear to be words, but more like a gentle thought form. And if there are words, these words are very few. Like, they don't sit here and have a full-on conversation with you. If they do, it's subliminal. There is a silent communication of the soul that the false telepaths can't access, unless, of course, you give them your soul. Many have. So when they use words, they are informative, and they're not necessarily demanding. Unless you're in danger and your temple is in danger, then they'll tell you, don't do that. Turn right. They'll say stuff like that. You know, or stop, or they'll just kind of gently flow you into a different path. Instead of taking the normal path, you'll get the inspiration to go another route. This is how the divine works. It's not in here, do this, do that, you know, unless it's a command that you are about ready to lose your temple and you need to do this, right? So it's a different type of communication. Less abrasive and demanding. So these leaders, or many of them in the 3D world, appear to be chipped puppets of other leaders who control them. These other leaders could be hybrids of these mans or orcs, or they could be the actual fallen angels that have contracted with them and thought that they had the human beings in prison. You know, and the human beings are the golden children of these divine entities. They burnt the bridge. They broke the bridge. They chemically altered them and severed the bridges of communication with the original while they played in the mind. Like, they had parties up there, and they were broadcasting this into the family, the spiritual, you know, family as you. And it wasn't you at all. So they know this now. And all hell is breaking loose and being relocated. This is the message that I have for you. See you on the next one.